If you've got ADHD, you already know that motivation never shows up when you need it. You could be the most capable person in the entire room, but if the task doesn't grab you, your brain will quickly shut off. And then all of a sudden, you're just gonna overthink, judge yourself, spiral, and guilt kills any drive that you ever had. There is a much simpler way to stay consistent with ADHD that I finally learned after helping close to 100 people stay permanently consistent in their business and their life. And if I just known this a little bit sooner, then I would have stopped doing the same cycles of strong starts, silent disappearances, and then the guilt comes rushing in. So in this video, I'm actually going to break down the exact step-by-step system that I wish I had known from day one, so you can finally start showing up even when motivation disappears, because motivation is just not something that we can rely on with ADHD. And the best part is that you can start to use what I'm about to show you right now and start building momentum instantly. Momentum that doesn't rely on willpower, forcing yourself, or anything in between. And just to be clear, having ADHD myself, I know that that's not laziness. That's just simply ADHD, dopamine wiring. And being clinically diagnosed with ADHD myself, I know that me and you are not lazy. What we're going through is simply called ADHD dopamine wiring. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build consistency that doesn't rely on motivation at all. You see, ADHD brains don't crave progress first. They crave novelty, and when it's new, you're unstoppable. When it's not, however, it feels like pulling your brain through mud. You don't fix that by chasing motivation now. You need to fix it by learning how to start without needing motivation, and that's the secret. And this next part shows you exactly how to do that. When I first started filming, I'd have weeks of productivity, then all of a sudden, months of silence. My negative self-talk used to destroy me. I used to tell myself, you're lazy, you're stupid, you're a failure. Why can't you just film a video? In reality, I was just trying to wait for the right time to feel ready. And in reality, we know that there's no such thing as a right time. You see, ADHD motivation doesn't come before action, it comes after it. And that's something that I wish I knew much sooner. But here's the momentum switch that can help you right now. I want you to stop asking, what do I need to do today? Instead, ask yourself this question, and write this down if you need to so you can always go back to it. What can I do for 10 minutes? And then just start it. Once you start, dopamine simply wakes up. You realize very quickly that you're not waiting for motivation, that you are manufacturing it. And that's a huge difference in the ADHD anatomy. But here's the problem. Momentum won't last unless you learn how to anchor it. And this next step simply locks momentum in so it becomes identity and not effort. Just imagine for a quick second that you've had a great week. Workouts have been great. You've trained 5 times this week. You've been very focused at work, made a lot of great steps forward in the right direction. You've been getting up early. Then all of a sudden, one bad day hits and you're back at zero, back to square one. But that's not inconsistency. That's missing rhythm. You simply just tied your routine to emotion, not repetition. That's all it is. So here's the consistency code that I want you to start to try from today. I want you to anchor everything that we're going to go through to a cue. That could be your alarm clock going off. That could be jumping in the shower. That could be brushing your teeth. That could be making your morning coffee. Whatever that looks like to you. It could be the same song, the same seat, the same drink that you have. It could be anything. One repeatable task that moves you forward. And whenever you're in that position, I want you to start to anchor one win before you stop doing that task. So if you're making your coffee, think about one win, one big thing that happened, one thing that if it never happened, you would have been in a much worse position. And when you start to anchor something positive, something that moves the needle in your life to something that you are already doing every single day, and if you do this enough, it becomes a rhythm, it becomes a habit, and at the end, you're going to start to see it as your identity. It just becomes who you are. And that rhythm tells your brain, hey, we know this path. Consistency thrives on familiarity, not willpower. So the more you learn how to be consistent in small things like what I've just explained, it changes the game. But even with all of this, consistency can't last if it doesn't mean anything. So this next step makes it emotional, not just mechanical. I want you to think about Michael Phelps for a second. He's spoken out loud about crashing after big goals. And if your progress loses purpose, you stop because there's no emotional reason to continue. In other words, we need a purpose to keep moving forward. So here's the purpose plugin. Before you start anything, just simply write a line on a piece of paper. Who does this help? And what does this give to me later? And once you've got that answer, I then want you to ask yourself, okay, but why is that important? Then you've got that answer, that's number 2. Then the third thing is, okay, well, why is that important? Now you've got the third reason why. Now you're going deeper. Okay, you've got another answer. Why is that important? Then you get another answer. And then why again? You need to go 5 levels deep. Once you are 5 levels deep, you will have a strong enough purpose, a strong enough reason why, that whatever is in front of you, it would be harder to be inconsistent because your strong enough reason why is so much in your face. It's emotionally connected to you because you've gone so deep by understanding the consequences of not taking on this task that it makes it so easy to do at that point. You see, when we have a consistency problem, that's not entirely true. We don't have a consistency problem, we just don't have a strong enough reason why 9 times out of 10. And that links effort to emotion. ADHD brains crave meaning. And I know because I've been living with ADHD my whole life. And when it matters, consistency becomes effortless. But you can't stay consistent if you are always leading from burnout. You see, consistency without balance becomes exhaustion with a new name. So I want you to go watch this video right here, which simply explains how you could be a leader today, run your company more efficiently, lead your team in your company like an absolute pro without burning out with ADHD. Because that video is the piece that makes this rhythm actually last and be sustainable. And I'll see you on it.